Revealing John's Truthful Words, Part 17, starting at chapter 10, verse 42. And as you can see, this is the last little bit of this text here, or the text I was editing before. And then we start with chapter 11 down here. Now, right now we're at the point where Jesus went to the Jordan River, an area where he was baptized by John. So this is, the text is going to start taking us into Jerusalem, because let me show you this here map here. They're saying that Jesus was baptized somewhere through here or through this area here, and that's not how the text is revealed. But the thing here is Bethany is here, and he's heading into Jerusalem, and this is Bethpage, and then Jerusalem. So the text is going to have him coming here to Lazarus, or is on his way there. Now the brown lines here, those are older roads that work with many of the a lot of the text from the Hebrew text side. And this here, there would have to be a city here that's mentioned in the very last, I think it's by Isaiah or Jeremiah. And then there's going to be a road that goes this way into Jerusalem. So now his friend, not a certain male, and I'm taking a friend because the text has revealed that from other books. Lazarus was sick, and I'm moving the words was sick from here to over here, and he was from Bethany, a city, not a village, but a city. And that's because the story tells us it's more of a city than a village. A village, there's different reasons why I'm putting categories and limits on what a village is and what a city is. I've gone through that before, but anyways, I'm moving the word sister from here to here and adding an S. And his sisters, Mary and Martha. Now here, they're giving a comment in the middle of this story here that it was Mary who anointed Jesus and wiped his feet with her hair. This story, if you know it, is actually a harlot, and she cannot anoint. No one can anoint. That's what our Creator does. He anoints. It comes from the priest to be able to come in and work in his courtyard. They need to be anointed. And so she's not anointing his feet with whatever in that story anyway. But this text is just wrong completely. The sisters therefore were sent, we don't need these words, were sent to Jesus to tell him, not saying, Lord, behold, he whom you love is sick. What I've corrected the text by saying to tell Jesus. They're being sent from Lazarus to the sisters Mary and Martha, and they're got to be aware of who his name is. So when they arrive, it's got to be Lazarus. His friend is very sick, because the story is going to be about very sick and not just sick. When Jesus heard this from them, he didn't say, he told them, from this sickness comes death. So that's why I had to use the word very over here. But the sentence down, or these words here, are not truthful. And it's pretty much being saying the glory of YV, that the Son from YV may be glorified. The glory of YV that's just idiot speaking, or who does not understand who our Creator is. Nobody knows the true glory of our Creator, and that the Son from YV might be or may be glorified. And it's not that even here the word glorified is used wrong, but here, anyways, this is what the text looks like when it's cleaned up. And then what I have here is, now Jesus loved Martha, his sister. Yeah, it would have been kind of her sister. Well, I can't even think of a word that would go in there. It's one word to Lazarus. But anyway, this is not needed in the text. So neither is this needed to correct this sentence. So I have the word, I had to add the word but. Jesus stayed there for 2 days. And I'm believing the spot that I'm telling you about here is where he was stayed. Now, you won't find that on any other map, but the text from our Creator's hidden format has this understanding that this is located somewhere in here. So that's why I'm saying now that that's where he is at for 2 days. Not that 2 days longer in the place where he was. He just stayed there for 2 days, wherever they met him. Then he told his disciples, let us go to Judah. Now, Judah, I'm using that, as I've said before. I've changed the 3 regions to Israel, Jordan, and Judah. So what they're calling Judea is Judah here. So now you can see that maybe he was more or less in Jericho. But we have other stories that are going to say that he had left Jericho. So, but the thing here is let us go to Judah again. Well, they never went to Judah to begin with, because when it says here, and this is the disciple calling him teacher, the Jews were now just seeking to stone you, and you are going there again. This story is actually when Jesus had went to the Passover and celebrated those 8 days, and he started his year, the favorable year of our Lord, that he did a few healings, and this is what they were going to stone him for, because he had started teaching that he is their son from our Creator. So they were saying that, well, you're making yourself out to be his son or equal to in that story. But the object is this is not true at this time in the story here. So I can't have that allowed here. Jesus told them there are 12, not hours. The hours, when it's stuck in here, that's the secular world measurement of an hour. And there's not 12 hours, but there's 12 divisions for daylight. Not a day, but for daylight. When we go through the hours that Jesus tells us in a parable, he defines there's 12 divisions for daylight. And then we also find that when we're looking at the times that he's brought before Pontius, when he's brought out to be crucified, how long he's on the cross before his body dies, and then those hours you can see are in this 12 division of daylight. So the word hours is just a secular word stuck in the text. And anyone can run. And now this is like a parable, but the object is this is just being stuck in here. In fact, down here I have it separated as a separate a verse. And anyone can run in the daylight does not stumble. And if anyone runs in the night, they will stumble. So you can see that it's not really walks, they run, because because that's what you do in the night, you walk. And anyways, and because the light is not with him, well, it's daylight, but this is just, their text being stuck in for their special practice and their meanings, and I'm removing all that, so that's not going to be allowed in here. This he said, after that he said to them. So that kind of gibberish definitely is out. For my friend Lazarus, here's the text where this story is saying that Jesus is calling friend, so that's why I used the word friend above. Lazarus has fallen asleep, and I will go to awake him. Not may awake him, but awake him out of sleep. But this is not true because Jesus knows he's not sleeping. So I don't want Jesus to be lying here, so those words get removed. A disciple said, if he has fallen asleep, he will awake, not he will recover. This is not the same thing as what Jesus is talking, so he has to be replying as to Jesus. So he fall asleep, and the word awake, not talking about a sickness, because they really think Jesus is talking about him falling asleep, not recovering. So, but Jesus knew he died, okay? And they thought that he was speaking literally of sleep. See, they even have to make a note in here. But if they correct the text and you keep going through it and we get rid of this verse because we have it down here by Jesus saying, then Jesus told them Lazarus is dead. Didn't need the word plainly in here. Now I'm glad for your sakes that now I was not there so that you may believe. Again, they've already witnessed Jesus raising a little girl from death, and healing people and healing hundreds of people. So this would not be true that now they're all the way going into Jerusalem and it's time for him to be betrayed, that they are with him because they believe him. All but Judas. Let us go, not let us go to him, but I'm going to get rid of that word by just let us go. Jesus is saying, let's go on to Bethany here. Now, when it comes to words like this, where Thomas, who was called Didymus, Didymus. Anyways, this is wrong. Thomas is Thomas. At no other time does this name actually appear. So we don't need it now. And said to his fellow disciples, let us go that we may die with him. Now, where did that come from? That's completely out of the blue. That isn't what Jesus had said. But anyways, all that's going to be gone. And when Jesus came to Bethany, he learned Lazarus was in the tombs for not 4 days, a day. Now, this word for might change as I go through the story and edit it. I just know that when I was pre-reading before I started editing here, that I had to use the word a day, because they were leaving bodies wrapped up in a tomb or on a tomb, and put these very odorous plants and other things around the body to keep the bugs away. And then if the body stayed dead for 3 days, and that's true today, that's why you have to have a doctor here in our country pronounce you dead. But the object here is for 3 days, and then they would bury the body. But up to that time, they left the body there that person might not be dead. So I have to use the word a day. And Bethany was by Jerusalem about 2 miles, not 2 miles off, 2 miles away. Now, um, actually it's east, like I showed you on the map. But what's odd here is I've got to move this verse. This verse is just out of place. And what I got here is it should be moved up to verse 6 or under verse 6. So if I just take this and copy it and go up here to where here's where I thought that the verse should fit correct. And you can see, if I get rid of this now, but Jesus stayed there for 2 days, and Bethany was by Jerusalem about 2 miles away. Because now you're understanding the timing and the city and where Jesus is going by saying, let us go to Judah, that they're going to Bethany, and that's by Jerusalem. So it sounds better and more true here than it does where it's at. And that's going to be true with a lot of text when I go to put it into one story. A lot of this is going to have to have one verse stuck here and one verse stuck there, and then there's a lot of editing to go around it, because as you know, some of the stories that's being said 2 or 3 different ways. Well, let's see how truthful one can be with as many truthful things that sound reasonable and logical to put them together. And you'll be amazed at that when it does happen. And that's coming up. Many believers, and these are Jews, okay? Jews did not believe in Jesus, so we can't have many Jews were there. I have to use the word believers. They said had come, but were with Martha and Mary to console them concerning their brother, their death. So this also told me that it was soon after that he died, that when I put in a day, now the text reads like it would have been the next day, they're still being consoled. But I don't need this. We understand what consoling them would be about. And it had come. Now, the thing here is they hadn't come yet, okay? So the text actually is not saying these words correctly here. And I'm using the word when here and moving it forward. When Martha heard Jesus was coming, she went to meet him. So the thing here is now she's coming to meet him, where they had this word here that doesn't make any sense. So the believers were with Martha and Mary back at Lazarus' home. So what we have here is a story about Lazarus and who he is. He seems to be the eldest son, and their parents aren't there anymore. Because we don't have any of their parents, Lazarus' parents, and they're being mentioned as brother and sister. So, but it also seems that when they're consoling Martha and Mary, that they're doing it at Lazarus's house. Everything is male dominated. So, there. Now that there's no male, it would be Martha and Mary's house. Martha said, "My Lord." I didn't need to put the word Jesus here. I think they're recognizing Jesus as their king. They're hearing about him. They knew him as a friend. So it would be my Lord. I just put in the word my. If you had been here, my brother would not have died. For I know whatever you ask, not of YV, but from YV, he will do for you, not give to you, not give for you, but give to you. So I changed it to do for you. And that goes to the fact that it is called the favorable year of our Lord, and whatever he asks our Creator, he will do for him. So I just don't think that I stuck the word do there for any reason, not any reason. It's specifically there. And Jesus told her, your brother will rise to live. Okay. Martha said, I know he will rise at our resurrection. Now here they're using in the last day. Okay. Now, the word resurrection, get rid of the secular term because I'm going to teach you what this word is right now. And this is the word that they would have used or something like it, and maybe it's been changed, but this word resurrection, when she's saying it like this, it means that she knows that when he is king in heaven, they're going to be resurrected from the ground, the abyss, and live in heaven. So this is what's talking about. Also, our last day, or our last breath, then we will send those that are going to be forgiven to enter into heaven and be in his kingdom. So the word resurrection here is talking about the day Jesus has his kingdom, that then everybody is going to be resurrected to heaven. So, and then I've got these words here pretty much explaining what I just said. And Jesus said, I am who resurrects. Not that he is the resurrection. He is the one who resurrects, meaning he is the one to forgive you to live in heaven, in his kingdom, resurrects their life, because there is no death, their life to heaven. Now you can see I had to add on a few words here, but this comes around to what these two words now mean, and forget the secular meaning. He who believes in me will live even if he dies. Now, Jesus doesn't say stupid things like that because he knows the soul dies. A soul does not die. The body will die. And you'll hear me say many times throughout this that his body died on the cross. Because I know that we're going to live forever. We are made in our Creator's image, and he is forever. We are going to be forever. So this statement really is not needed. Everyone who lives, believes in me, will never die. See, this again, Jesus wouldn't be that stupid to know that it's only the body and the soul never dies. So your existence is just a blink to another place where you're going. Kind of. I've had too many different experiences to say that it's just like a blink. I shouldn't have said that. And then you'll end up where you're going. Okay. Do you believe this? Not this, but believe me. That's making it first person. So I like making everything first person, because when you're going to read this, when it gets together, it's really, really good. Her answer was, yes, my Lord. I have believed you are our Holy One from YHVH. See, this is why she knows about the word resurrection, that they're going to live in his kingdom. So she knows that not our son, but our Holy One, because I know this is how our Creator refers to Jesus in the Hebrew text in many prophecies. And she would not use the word Christ because she doesn't really understand the word Christ. It's a title. So, and he who comes into the world, yeah, this is all just wrong. Okay, when she said this, she went away and called Mary, her sister, saying, secretly, our teacher is here calling you. I don't think that was secretly. They both knew they were coming. I mean, that's the whole thing, is that he was coming, and he's not coming in secret. He's got 12 disciples with him. He's healing people. So there's this excitement of Jesus now. The text is going to reveal 8 days. before, almost day by day. But here we know that these are going to be the few days before this. So we might actually have like the last 2 weeks of pretty much where Jesus was at and up to his body dying on the cross. So this wouldn't be in something she'd be saying. And she heard it and she rose up quickly, coming to Jesus, coming to him. Well, the thing here is that's all going to be down here in the text that I'll show you that here, let me show you right here. They come with her. That means those believers. But the object is she didn't go to him right then. So that's just a wrong being said at this time. And Jesus had not yet come into the village, still the place where Martha, but at the place where Martha had met him. Now, Jesus is going to be keep on walking. He told his disciples that he's going to keep walking. So when she went to meet him, she had to hear he was coming. The people were, probably the word was out, and that's why Martha went real quick. And Mary, her sister, we don't know her age, but I'm sure that with all the big crowds around and stuff, that Mary had a reason for staying behind. And I would put it at her age. And Martha went to meet him. But the only thing is if this would have been, for this to be true, these would have to be true, but these two are false, so this has to be false. Kind of doing the math on that. Jews who were with her in the house, consoling her, when they saw Mary rose up quickly, they went and followed her, supposing that she had gone to the tomb to weep. No, it would have been because if Mary had told her to come in secretly, that she would have went to Jesus. But the thing here is they're making this story up that she's going to go to where, and it would be the word tombs. There have been more than one. Tomb is just the place the body is laid. Tombs would be these many tombs in it, so it'd be called the tombs. But that's just a made-up story, because then Mary met up with Jesus and she fell at his feet and said, "My Lord, if you had been here days ago, my brother would have not died." So if he was in secret, anyways, I don't need to go up there, but this is the truth sentence here. Here days ago, and you notice I had to put days. Like he could have made this trip. Let's see, because when we start looking at how long does it take to walk from here to here, so where did he meet him and where did he stay? And that's why I'm pretty much guessing this is where they met and stayed. But if this is 2 miles from here to here, you can see this is less than a day's walk. So he could have made it sooner. But the answer is, when I put in days ago, would have meant that when they, Martha, did Martha go to him or Mary? Do I have this story? I'm trying to think, and oh, they were both soft. Okay. I was thinking when I'm trying to make the younger sister not going out to meet him in a crowd or whatever, I was thinking that, was she the one and not her older sister? So now that I have her older sister there with him at that time, the story is more truthful. I'm trying to make sure that the story is told, and having reasonings why these things take place and don't take place. So, And Jesus asked her, where'd they lay him? Wait a second. Oh, I missed this verse here. When Jesus therefore saw her weeping, that's not true because that would be up here. And it doesn't say that she was weeping here. But so that I'm not going to add into the text. And more believers had come with her. I'm having to use more believers, and I'm thinking that's because the word more, I believe, is going to have to be added because of the text below it. Because if you just had one believer with her, the text refers to having more with her coming at this time. So I know that when I edited this word in, is because of the text below to make this correct here. It's just in editing, when I go and grabbed all this text and start reading it, I kind of like, wait a second, the story's not up and down here. And I'm trying to keep as much editing together as I can in these videos, even though the next one's going to clean up even more, and then even more when I group them all together. But trying to grab all the truthful verses and words as possible. When Jesus asked her, where have they laid him? And she said, come with me and see. So most burial grounds are outside the city. So you can see that if Jesus is now coming and it's been announced that he's coming here and they went out to meet him, and we know that there's this 10-mile walk, we can have that understanding that they're met him kind of outside the city, and the tombs or graveyards are usually outside the cities. So she's going to lead them to there. So we have this understanding by reasoning things out, that would they walk through the whole city then to get to the graveyard, to get to the tomb? So it sounds like it was on the east side of the city was this graveyard where the tombs were located and where Lazarus is at. I'm going to stop here, and I guess I'm not going to get to those words that talk about the word more here, but listen to the next video and I will get to that. Other than that, I'm going to get on with the next video, and I can get rid of my stop here and save the text as it is, and talk to you on the next video.